7. We've been going on dates with would-be candidates for the mayoral chains of Johannesburg. One man who is perhaps at this moment a little bashful about wanting his old job back is the leader of Action SA, Herman Mashaba. Whilst not yet having clinched the party's nomination officially, wink, wink, he's certainly put his name in the hat. And of course, it'll be up to the party to decide whether he's their candidate for Johannesburg or not. But I think the writing is on the wall. Herman Mashaba, welcome back to 702 Breakfast, and thank you for popping into studio.
Thank you so much, Bongani, and thank you so much for inviting me. I'm sure I've shared this with you on radio on a few occasions that for some reason, I don't know who program my watch, my radio to wake me up every morning. So I have no choice whether I like it or not.
That's how you charm the host, hey? All right, let's look at the state of Johannesburg. So what we've been doing, and we're going to be doing it over a few weeks, is going, shall we call it, on dates, speed dating with those who would have those mayoral chains. You've put your name in the ring as far as your party is concerned, and I think it's a foregone conclusion what will happen next. I know you don't want to wade into that, so let's get straight into the city of Johannesburg. You've been mayor before. Looking at how you left the city and what has happened to it since, what's your impression?
Very, very, very sad state of affairs. I think when I took over in 2016, and in fact, even going back slightly back, that the reason for me to accept this political responsibility, because I never thought one day Herman Mashaba will be a direct politician, but looking at my country collapsing in front of my eyes, and I was actually sick and tired of sitting with friends. Everyone is an expert over dinner table or after golf or whatever. And I said, my goodness, we live in a democratic space. If there's corrupt people can run a city, as much as I have absolutely no idea what a mayor does, and I believe I can use my privileged position to do something. That's when I threw my head in the ring in the first place in 2016. First time around, removed the ANC's majority in August and took over as a mayor. At the time, no knowledge what the mayor does, but I was keen to do something about it. The record of the 3 years, I think it is there. Please, I prepared the end of term report, which I challenge anyone to look at my end of term report, compare it with the Auditor General's report. When I took over that city was in a total mess. The city taken over by criminal syndicates. The officials running the city, cadres were not in job because of what they knew, because of who they know. And I needed to really clean that up. And unemployment very high, 300,000 housing backlog. I immediately embarked on doing an audit of our infrastructure backlog. 170 billion rands. I called the media to really give you guys the breakdown of the kind of money we needed to fix the city. And at the time, I only had 8 billion rands to fix a 170 billion rands problem. Immediately realized to run a good, proper city, you need the law enforcement, because the problem with the city of Johannesburg was the breakdown of the rule of law.
Yeah.
First time, few months into office, embarked on the recruitment of 15,000 police officers.
I want us to focus a lot more on where the city finds itself now. As you say, you did give a report of your time in office and what you tried to achieve. But perhaps one last question about that time. What is the one thing you feel, whether through your own shortcomings or the circumstances in which you found yourself, what is the one thing you feel you did not finish, you did not complete? What's your unfinished business with the city?
Golani, I think...
Bongani, you keep calling me Golani.
Yes,
and you always do this.
Oh, my goodness.
Not the first
because
time.
You and Golani, I don't know, these two guys, I can't separate them, you know. I'm so sorry about this, Bongani.
Mr. Herbert.
Bongani, honestly, we can't approach the city from an academic point of view. We're not in a classroom. The city is facing a myriad of challenges, massive. All of them are massive. And the city has got the capacity to deal with so many things at the same time. The first order of business is to ensure in the event we are given as Section SA to really be the leader of the city. We've got to put together a very strong MMCs. The constitution and the laws of our country allows you as a mayor to put in 10 MMCs to deal with 10 various issues, including you as a mayor. Second business is to really get a competent, committed, professional city manager. And then you immediately do an audit of all the cadres. Get rid of the cadres. Don't really play games. In fact, I'm personally warning all the cadres who are occupying positions because of their close proximity to the politicians. In the event Action SA takes over, they must run before we take over. The day when IEC announces the positions, we form the government on our own or with coalition partners, they must run before we come for them, because we are not going to really play games.
Here's the difficulty many people have with you and your party. One of your election promises, and I know we're talking about the national one now, was that you would not work with the ANC. You were very clear on that. You said you wouldn't vote with them. And yet, of course, in Johannesburg and in Gauteng, you later flip-flopped on that and said, well, you may vote with them on an issue-by-issue basis. And people will say, hang on, part of the mess of Johannesburg is who's in charge, and at times you've been in support of them.
Well, I think, Olani, whoever comes out with that analysis, it's someone who doesn't read, doesn't really follow politics, follow bar discussions, because for Action SA to work with the ANC in Tshwane was many months after the GNU was formed. We had made a commitment we'll never work with the ANC. We demonstrated this after the 2021 local government elections. We gave our votes to the DA. As much as the DA was against me, the reason I left, the DA was against me providing services to poor black communities. But however, because I was scared of, we were as a party, we were scared of ANC corruption, we decided to give our votes to the DA. Unfortunately, DA refused to support Dr. Nasipi Moya. They collapsed all the governments. The only one where we were left was in the city of Tshwane. It's on record. I'm not giving you an issue that discussed in Eshabin. I'm giving you facts that are there for the records. When we eventually decided to work with the ANC, was after massive abuse by the ANC in Tshwane, relying on our vote, refusing to provide services to our own people.
You mean the DA?
Yeah, during in Tshwane. And after the 2024,
I fully accept your.
And then
hold on. I fully accept the context in which you're painting this, but I'm saying to you, many people will say this was a cardinal promise you made to voters. For whatever reason, you at some point flip-flopped on it. How do you respond?
Yes, it's not Bongani. It's not a lot of people, because our people in Tshwane and everywhere, including myself, when we realized that the DA refusing, firstly, to provide services to black communities, we said, this is not going to be acceptable. But, however, you remember what happened after the formation of the GNU, then when they had to form the Gauteng one. When Panyaza Lesufi disappointed, or they had issues with the DA then approaches ANC to say, look, guys, can you talk to your men in Gauteng, Panyaza Lesufi? What we will do is we will work with you even in the municipalities. We'll remove Action SA to work with you. Fortunate enough, Bongani, I wasn't born yesterday. These things come to my attention. Now, tell me, as a normal thinking human being, do I wait for the DA to come and remove me?
Was the price.
And I said, okay, if that is the case, these are the people I'm working with. Then I said, it isn't my nature. When I'm facing a threat, I'm telling you, Bongani, I kill
All
it
right.
first.
Okay, so you worked with the ANC because of that context.
And let me tell you another important thing about Tshwane. You know, in Tshwane, our numbers are such that if we don't work with the DA and the EF Freedom Front Plus, or we don't work with the ANC and EFF, the city was going to be under administration. And then the decision which we had to make on behalf of our country, because we patriots, we said we are not going to let. So let's rather try the ANC, but we tried them, approached them. I said, guys, we are prepared to try you, but on condition that Action SA takes over the mayorship.
You mentioned the myriad of problems that Joburg has, and we can take the water situation. I know hijacked buildings was a particular issue that you dealt with, procurement in the city of Johannesburg. What would your top 3 priorities be for the city of Johannesburg?
Bongani, I can tell you also, I'm not a lecturer, a professor. I'm not going to handle 3 issues. I'm going to handle all the issues that are facing the city of Johannesburg, because I'm not going to have the 10 MMCs responsible for the various portfolios to wait for someone else to deliver first. All of them, they must hit the ground running. As soon as they're given the budget, they're given the responsibility, they must hit the ground running. What we need to do, we need to really look at this issue of our infrastructure backlog. We need to really understand so that all the various departments, be it transport, be water, be electricity, all of them must hit the ground running. Finance, we must collect revenue, because without the collection of revenue, we won't be able to really serve our people. We must, Bongani, without any failure, we need to engage Home Affairs to please get rid of illegal for undocumented foreign nationals in our city, because when we provide a budget from our residents to provide services to just over 6 million people, I don't want to end up having to provide the services to 8-9 million people of the world. So this is a matter that is totally unacceptable. If any people are not happy with it, then don't vote for us.
How much does the entry of Helen Zille into this race complicate things for you?
Makes it easy, actually. Very, very easy, because I'm dealing with someone who, when she looks at me, she doesn't see a 66-year man, she sees a boy, which is an advantage for me, because I know I was never a boy before to anyone. So when she engages with me, she engages with me on the basis of superiority.
When did you find that?
Self.
When did you find that out?
After I joined the DA, because when I got fed up with the ANC and
but you went in the DA for 1 day
for 3 years.
And all that time, that's how you would characterize.
I discovered.
Hold on. For that entire 3 years, is that how you would characterize your relationship?
Yes, absolutely. Well, it builds over time, because it took me time to know the person, and I had confidence with Musi and so forth. I thought, these are the South Africans that can help to unseat the ANC, only to really discover, no. This animal is not really what I thought. And decided, you know what, I'm not a boy, and I'm a grown-up man.
It's a long time between now and whenever the president will announce those elections. But perhaps the last question, what should residents of Johannesburg bear in mind or remember about Herman Mashaba between now and the time they have to make their X?
Please, just remember that you have someone who cannot really be bought. Someone who's in politics, not to really fill my stomach. I'm doing this job purely on a voluntary basis. Nobody pays me. I get paid by my family. My family puts in with the biggest funder of a political party, and my family doesn't expect anything from this relationship. My family does this because we love this country. We need a country that can work. So one thing for sure is that in the event that you choose Action SA, you choose a party that puts South African first. And we are not going to really change our stance on that basis. Be united, this country and this city is not going to be run by United Nations resolutions. We will run and respect the United Nations resolutions that serve the people of South Africa. If they don't, let them go and try those exercises somewhere else, not here in South Africa.
Herman Mashaba, a man who cannot be bought, he says.
Current events, developing stories,
tough questions.
Your voice making a difference.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa.